Niels Gilman described deviant globalisation as the unpleasant underside of transnational integration. The Yakuza can be viewed as an illegal yet legitimate organisation. The origin of the Yakuza can be traced back as far as to the year 1612 to men known as the Kabuki Mono, or the Crazy Ones. Their odd clothing style, distinct haircuts, bad behaviour, and long swords quickly got everybody's attention. They were known as masterless samurais, or ronin, and several of them began to wander around Japan as a band of thieves plundering villages and small cities. The word Yakuza is derived from the Japanese number 893. This number represents an instantaneous loss on the Japanese card game of Oicho Kabu. That is why the name becomes symbolic, since when broken down into its parts, the word represents someone who is an outsider, nobody, or a person that just does not belong. Thus, the Yakuza includes anyone who is a part of some type of Japanese organized crime, usually known to be an outcast of society. They are generally from poor and or criminal backgrounds without any strong base of familial stability. Around the time of post-war Japan, the Yakuza began to develop an interest in politics and started affiliations with certain political officials. They began to cooperate with the authorities in return for services and favours, and to ease the harassment from the authorities. The ultranationalist terror created by democratic reforms and the global depression in the 1920s and 1930s resulted in 2 prime ministers being murdered, as well as 2 finance ministers, several politicians, and industrialists being attacked. The Yakuza supplied these groups with the muscle and manpower and training.
The Yakuza operate in a number of different organised crime circles. They are known to operate in drug trafficking, human trafficking, illegal gambling, prostitution, and protection rackets. Many Yakuza syndicates, notably the Yamaguchi-gumi, officially forbid their members from engaging in drug trafficking, while some Yakuza syndicates, notably the Dojin-kai, are heavily involved in it. The Yakuza have also been known to target young women from the Philippines. They promise them the opportunity of legitimate and respectable work, however, they are pressured into the sex industry. Illegal gambling is a large source of income for the Yakuza. Bar staff and managers partake in the scam by getting customers drunk and then sending them off to illegal gambling locations. The Yakuza frequently engage in a uniquely Japanese form of extortion known as sokaya. In essence, this is a specialized form of protection racket. Instead of harassing small businesses, the Yakuza harass stockholder meetings of larger corporations. The Yakuza may also find or invent incriminating information about a company and use this information to blackmail its board of directors. After buying shares in the company, a clan sends some of its members to board meetings, where they threaten company officials with the release of this evidence. The Yakuza can exert a great deal of control over businesses this way, or simply demand payoffs. They obtain the right to attend these meetings by making a small purchase of stock. Many Yakuza extortion and blackmail schemes are carefully designed to maintain the Japanese tradition of politeness. Sam will now discuss the legitimacy of the Yakuza and highlight the good work the organisation does.
Are the Yakuza more than mere criminals? Perhaps the best examples illustrating the good side of the Yakuza came during some of the biggest disasters in recent Japanese history. After the 1995 Kobe earthquake and the more recent tsunami disaster that hit Tohoku in 2011, the Yakuza were there to provide aid. Some have said that since Yakuza have been strongly connected to the construction industry, they were just scoping out legal and illegal work for the rebuilding process, but others like to think the gang members have a heart. Gang members are people too, even if they are not the best role models of an outstanding citizen. The Yakuza used their gang connections and efficiency to move supplies to unaffected areas to the people that needed food, blankets and medicine. They even opened up offices and facility to those affected and rented a transport helicopter for faster relief when it came to the Kobe incident. By contrast, the government's response was much slower and less organised. When people are in trouble, they want someone they can depend upon, and for the second time when disaster struck, the Yakuza were there. The Yakuza have also proven effective in deterring further criminal activities. Not only do the Yakuza regulate their own activities, but they also police the streets of many urban districts as well. Yakuza will protect areas or businesses in which they have vested interests, so in effect, they actually reduce crime. The Yakuza also send their lower-ranked recruits to construction companies for labour. This presents members, often poorly educated and out of sorts with society, with legitimate employment opportunities. The Yakuza also make provisions to house the workers and provide meals where necessary.
While most of the Yakuza's activities are viewed as largely illegal, we as a group believe that they still have a place in today's society through some of the legitimate ways in which they operate. Thank you for listening.